Ladies and gentlemen, they're probably going to indict Trump in Georgia. It will be a catastrophic failure, just like the New York indictment. Associated Press, more peril for Trump in Georgia probe than New York indictment. This is according to a poll. Former President Donald Trump has emerged largely unscathed politically from his New York indictment. Even the Associated Press admits this, okay? So, obviously, everybody knows, if you pay attention, it's not about partisanship. You pay attention, you know that New York Democrats are after Trump. The reverse would likely be true if Republicans in Alabama, let's say, went after, Hunter Biden, okay? Immediately they'd say, these are Republicans, it's not about the rule of law, it's completely partisan. Now, the issue is whether or not Trump committed a crime and whether or not Hunter or Joe or Hillary committed crimes, okay? The question is, owning a private server siphoning classified data outside the U.S. government a crime? Of course it is. It's not even possible from a cybersecurity perspective. Clinton owned private servers. It wasn't just private email. It was private servers, and that was a criminal act. It was done to hide communication for whatever purpose. Now, even the Honorable James Comey said laws were broken, but he said no reasonable prosecutor would indict. Okay. So, and we know Hunter has committed crimes with Joe. There's very likely, almost certainly, according to the New York Post, which Twitter tried to suppress and silence, bribery, kickbacks, pay-to-play schemes, graft. These are serious felonies, okay? What is Trump going to be indicted on? He'll probably be indicted in Georgia. A phone call. Okay, so you have with Hunter emails, photos, videos, money, millions upon millions of dollars in corrupt money, financial transactions, banks investigating very, very shady and surreptitious and almost certain criminal activity involving corporations throughout the planet in adversarial countries that gave money to the Bidens for influence. One of the emails stated, how can you use your influence on our company's behalf? And then the country that company resides in was promptly invaded when Biden took office. And so you have a situation where they did commit crimes. See, the question people should ask, and this is why you subscribe and watch this channel, the question people should ask is the following. Were there crimes committed by Trump? Yes or no? Were there crimes committed by Hunter and Joe and Hillary and others in the Democratic Party? Yes or no? What political side is silencing newspapers? What political side is going after journalists? How many journalists has Trump gone after? How about zero? There was one, they say, oh my God, he made fun of a journalist. Like, well, he didn't try to disparage the journalist in Congress the way Democrats are or threaten anyone. That was the Democratic Party with Matt Taibbi and Michael Schellenberger. And you have a situation where the truth about the Democratic Party is the reason that, for example, Assange is in prison. Assange should be free. He should be free. He was a publisher, just like the BBC and the Guardian and all the Washington Post, the Times. They all publish the same emails. But you have to understand, Trump does not have emails where he gets to then claim another country wants you to know about his emails. Only Democrats can say, well, another country wants you to know about the corruption found within Hunter's laptop. Another country wants you to know about the corruption leveled against Bernie Sanders within the DNC primary. That's the way they roll. They say, well, another country wants you to know. And Trump doesn't have that. The authoritarian mindset is from the left to the right, not from the right to the left. The despots, the totalitarians, they silence people. They pretend they have intel agents, and you have a Central Intelligence informant now, along with an IRS agent, stating that there's just a cover-up. They're covering everything up politically. That's why they're slow-walking all of this, trying to run out the clock. It's 2023. We're going into 2024. Hunter hasn't been indicted, but Trump has. That should tell you what's going on in the United States of America. That should tell you what's taking place. Okay? You have a situation, ladies and gentlemen, where actual criminals don't get indicted, but Trump gets indicted because he's mean. You know, there's an interesting thing that's like, and hit subscribe to this channel. Go to hagoodman.com to read my writing in The Hill, The Huffington Post, Salon, The Jerusalem Post, The Federalist, and other publications. Email me at contactgoodman88@gmail.com if you want to be part of a newsletter. And my super thanks is below the like, next to the like and the share buttons, and the Patreon link is below as well. An interesting thing is taking place in our society. There are people who just look at Trump and they say, oh my God, he's a monster. He's creating so much chaos and havoc. Is Trump creating the chaos, or is it media perpetuating and promoting mayhem, a frenzy, a hysteria, an apoplectic reaction to Trump? The rebuttal could be, well, you know what? His tweets are controversial and polarizing. If Biden tweeted the same things, nobody would care in media. Biden has done just the same things as Trump, but they don't make the big spectacle. He's gone after journalists, used profanity. He's done a number of things, but also his economic policies, his economic performance, his job performance in terms of the economy. If you're on the left and you're going to vote for Biden, then don't ever bring up words like working class and economic justice and anything with justice. Just don't bring up. Okay, pertaining to the economy or society. Society and the American economy has descended, not done better, descended. We are worse off than we were under Trump, categorically, objectively, without a shadow of a doubt. And again, it's not partisan to say that. We didn't have 6 to 9% inflation with Trump. We just didn't, even in his last year in office. And if you want to blame Trump for his last year, he's not a governor. Trump was not a governor. He did not have the right to tell Newsom or Cuomo or Whitmer or Pritzker not to shut down their economies gleefully. They all did. That's why when Congress printed all that money, he had to sign off. What was he supposed to do? Have people starve because Democrats said you can't go out and get a coffee and cause toilet paper runs, which eventually caused bank runs? So there's really nothing he could have done. Look, there were people like CNN and MSNBC and others who promoted paranoia. They promoted paranoia. Now, most people have moved on. And they haven't just moved on because, okay, well, that's a whole other story, okay? The issue is, ladies and gentlemen, according to government statistics and numbers, 80% of the people who lost their lives from you-know-what were 65 and older. You didn't have to tank society with numerous pre-existing conditions. You didn't have to tank society. You did so, in large part, Democrats, to tank Trump's chances. And still, it took a while to defeat Trump. Okay, here's the issue. People think, well, you know, tech and Hollywood, it's all about Democrats. Democrats are losing influence. They're not gaining influence. If they don't have every conceivable advantage, from late night to Saturday Night Live to Jimmy Kimmel if they don't have every conceivable advantage, Trump runs away with it. He already gets almost half the electorate. Like, think about this for a second. He's running a 40-yard dash in 4.5, but he's running with a 100-pound backpack. If you had an athlete run a 40-yard dash and you said, okay, well, what's his 40 time? And then you heard the 40 time was 4.5. Okay, oh, well, he's a lineman, or he's, a very slow wide receiver, but he's wearing a 100-pound backpack. Imagine if you took that backpack, he'd break all the records. So Trump has media, Hollywood, tech, as that 100-pound backpack, and he's still running a 4.540. So you have to ask yourself, well, what if the media was just apolitical? Media never used to have a vested interest. Okay, they ran positive articles on Paul Ryan, positive articles in 2012. That's never ever going to happen again. And so it's not just about Trump, it's about the venom and vitriol and disdain towards any Republican. which is interesting enough. It's interesting. Never Trumpers don't get that. But anyway, hit subscribe to this channel right now.